Now I'm back onto everyone's favourite project, the $150 Trimaran. We can call this boat the Mona Lisa of off-the beach performance sailing. Like, so rare, so important from such a great designer. And just like the guys at the Louvre in France probably aren't dragging the Mona Lisa around on its frame, they'd have a special little trolley to wheel it around on. I thought that, yeah, this boat deserves a real trolley. So for the past sort of 3 months, every Tuesday night, me and my friends have had trolley building Tuesdays. And we've been going around to one of my friends' houses and building aluminium trolleys. So I'll show you that now, and then we'll come back to the tramp lashing repairing, where we're just going to modernise this and bring it up to the sort of latest stuff with Dyneema and everything. But this afternoon I'm going to go around and finish that trolley off. So enjoy that, and then you'll jump back here into the future where I'm working on the trampoline. perfect. It's actually cutting. So I'm replacing this old white tramp lashing rope that's probably kind of a double braid. I don't think it's original because it's in really good sort of condition for what it is. But as you can see, it's got sort of big bits of chafe where it's been going through those eyelets. So they don't feel too rough. With Dyneema, you've got to be obviously careful that it's not going to chafe through. But I figure with someone my size bouncing around on these tramps, it's worth just replacing these lashings, particularly these ones with the black stuff, which is sort of a VB cord, like Venetian blind polyester type stuff. Like I've got Dyneema, so I might as well do the job properly and keep this thing in tip-top condition, because the last thing I want to do is fall through the trampolines and lose the boat or something. It's the kind of thing where if I go overboard, this sort of boat will probably keep going, and that could put it in the rocks or potentially damage it or damage someone else. So we want to do it properly. I'm just using your sort of standard uncovered. This is Robline Ocean 3000. It's just SK78, so it's nothing crazy like SK99 or any of those super high-tech ones they use for standing rigging or whatever in Europe. Yeah, this will do the job. So I'm just going to go and splice these on. So I think what I'll do here, see how it actually goes, this rope is the same rope the whole way around. I think what I'm going to do is isolate it into sections. So this will be one rope, that'll be one rope, this will be one rope, and that's one rope. So that then if one fails, I only lose like one side. So like if this broke and those were all tight, it'll probably still be saleable, like you'd be able to get home because you could go down sort of that edge. But if this breaks and then goes loose the whole way around, then you're a bit stuffed. So I think that's a better idea. It's a little bit more work, but it's worth doing. This is pretty clever. Like the part at the end where you're likely to jump off the float and then smack your knees into, they've put extra eyelets. So yeah, clever. Okay, so that's this one done. As you can hear, it's nice and taut, but as the Dyneema creeps in, it's going to definitely lose a bit of that tension on the first sail. I'm just looking at this red rope, which is the riding line, and then it's attached just with some sister clips and a bit of shot cord. And I'm just thinking, for starters, it looks old because it's that kind of 80s. I don't even know what you call this stuff, but it looks like something you could see as like the main sheet on like a club sabo that's been sitting under a yacht club for 30 years. So I'll take that off and just replace it with something new, just because you don't know sort of how old it is, and if it breaks it could put you in a dangerous situation if the boat's upside down. So it's worth just putting another bit of double braid there or something, just to know how old it is and know where we're starting from. So installing this needs a little bit of thought. You don't want to just go and whack these sister clips anywhere, because if you put them at the top end and then you're capsized, you're not going to be able to get it down and undo the sister clips. So I'm going to put my sister clip on a bit of shot cord down here. Okay, so that's one wing done. Good tight tram. I've ended up doing that as neat as I can, but basically copied what they had before because it's the only real good way to do it. The shot cord back here is keeping this nice and taut. Okay, so it's Thursday night. Last night I brought home the Trimaran on its trailer so that I could really get into it at night and get that done instead of doing one night a week, so that hopefully I can launch it next weekend. As you will probably see later, it's currently just this drizzly crap rain. It's about 13 degrees, so I thought, what's an easy job I can do that's inside? And I had on the end of the job list to give these hulls a bit of a tidy up. As you can see, they are rather tired, just from 30 years of kind of being dragged up the sand and bounced off things and whatever. And this being such an important boat, and since I'm its custodian for the next generation, I thought it really deserves a bit of love. So I got extra cut polish. I've never had a boat that needs extra cut before, but I thought, this one being probably 10 years older than me, it might need a bit more attention. So we'll get into it and see how these come up. Hopefully we can get a bit of a shine into them. Okay, so pretty happy with that for an hour and a half's work or so. Both of them come up a lot better than they were before. Bit of a shine. Still got some sort of deeper cracks in there, but I think to fix them I'd have to sand it all back, fill it, and then repaint. But I think that looks 1,000 times better than it did before. So happy with that. And tomorrow night hopefully I can get back into the trailer if it's not raining. So my next problem is, what am I going to do with the mast on the trailer? As you can see, the rig's actually massive. Like, this is the bottom section, and it is the length of the hull and a bit more. Obviously we do lose a little bit of that going into the hull itself in the socket, but not too much because it's a relatively low freeboard hull. Then you've got this part, which is the top section. That'll be another couple of meters. In my head, my initial plan was to fit more of those black spinnaker pole holders to the trailer on little blocks and then sort of store the mast on the boat. But my overhang out the back is already quite large, and I don't want to get in trouble with the police for that. So I think what I'm going to do is keep the mast in one piece instead of two. That also eliminates the risk of the halyards getting tangled. So at the moment you can see they've wrapped around the mast because of the way I've unfolded it and then dragged it out of the grass. You don't want to get to a venue, do that in a rush, and then have your halyards twisted inside the rig. So if I store it in one piece, then I can set it up correctly once and do up this hose clamp that holds the two pieces kind of together. And then those that have been watching the channel for a while will remember that when I borrowed a Musto skiff for the Nationals, I went to Bunnings and I quickly built this mast holder for the trailer. So I think what I'm going to do is try and utilize this and run a traditional trailer setup. So I'll just put the mast back together, put this in, then see where the back of the rig's happy to sit on that frame, and then I'll build something up the back to hold it. So that can be our first job. You can see, it's always worth checking your halyards, because see, that's got a big wrap right there. So it might actually not be too bad to fix. So I probably just have to twist the top section back around. Okay, so the halyards are now clear. If I put them in exactly that order, I'll pull those taut, I'll put the mast in, which should be right. So I reckon this looks like a sort of good spot for it. It's not sticking all the way out at the back. It's in behind the hull, and then it's not crazy high at the front, and it seems to be well balanced. If I go much further forward, it's kind of starts to feel a bit light on the back end. So I'll work off that. I'll get the boom out now and see where that fits, and yeah. So I think the boom and the tiller extensions can live over here. I just need to see if I can get that boom up high enough so that it will clip on. I have the cheapest bit of timber at Bunnings that was the right size, and then I've had this saw kicking around in the toolbox for ages. Can't remember which boat I got it for, but yeah, now I finally get to use it. So I get my accurately sawn length of wood. Just gonna go there, and my keelboat spinnaker pole holder there. Just doesn't touch, it's perfect. My plan is, I've got some leftover stainless chain plates from when we built this metal frame. They're what's holding all the corners together. So I'm just going to go along and rivet these on either side of these timber blocks like that. And then I'll be able to use some super cheap sort of timber screws, not those ones because they're too big, those ones, and yeah, just attach these chain plates to the timber blocks. Then I'll be able to use the bigger timber screws to go in the top of the plastic spinnaker pole holder into the block of wood, and that'll hold it all in place. So I finally invested in the cheapest decent rivet tool I could get. The one that you've seen in the videos making the frame and stuff is my friend's one. Mine was sort of 20 years old and a cheap like hand style one, and the rivets kept getting stuck in the nozzle. So for $25 I could have got another hand one that was cheap, or for $39 I could get this one that's a lazy tong design. So I thought I'll invest in a good one because I'll have it forever. It's got a lifetime warranty, and yeah, I think it's worth the money. So I need this one, which is 4.8. The one that it was in there was 1/4 inch. So I'll unscrew 3/16 4.8, this one. Then put our 4.8mm rivet nozzle in. We can, I already think this is going to be better. I haven't even used it yet. Now remember, we've got a stainless rivet with aluminium metal. So we need like Tef Gel or Duralac to stop them corroding. I know that I'm not the best at getting good quality fasteners recently, so I've tried to address that on this project, because yeah, this boat's a classic and it deserves a good trailer. Let's try our luck. Oh. This is like the best tool ever. I can see why it's got 4.8 stars on the Bunnings website. Like, it's 1,000 times easier than those other ones. Best $14 extra I've ever spent. There's the mast support done. Now I've just got a few more rivets to put on the side of the trolley that are going to hold the wings down while I'm rigging. So what I want to do next is this saddle that I just attached is going to have like a 2-to-1 block and tackle system going out to the wings like this to hold them down while I'm rigging so that it doesn't bounce around. And then I thought, to make it easy, I'll have clips on the bottom of them, so I unclip it, but then you don't want to just leave it dangling because it'll get wrapped up in the wheel when you try and wheel the trolley back out of the water. So what I really want to do is put a saddle up here somewhere, preferably in the right spot so that I don't have to change the length too much as I go to clip it on. And then I'll be able to clip the ropes along the trolley while I'm towing the boat and when the trolley's just on the beach without the boat on it. And I thought that'll be really neat. So now I just need to do some rough maths and try and figure out roughly where they go. So without wanting to go too deep into Pythagoras and stuff, I reckon they go about here. So that's where I'm going to put them. I'm really just trying to smash this out so I can get some paint on it while the sun's out and it's nice. Okay, so it's Sunday afternoon now, and basically I'm just going to work through rigging the boat and just check everything works and that this trolley system actually does what I thought it would do. So yeah, I'll just quickly whack the rig up, chuck the wings on, and then sort of build that system that holds the wings down while it's being rigged, and yeah, just fix anything else that I see as I put it all together. So in episode 1 we found out that the wires that sort of came with this boat that essentially make up the whole structure, it's a bit like an old plane from World War I or something where everything's just tiny little wires going everywhere. A lot of them were sort of really worn out and held together with sort of tape looking after all the loose strands, and I thought that pretty high risk, and the insurance companies and stuff say you should change your standing rigging every 7 years, so I reckon this stuff might even be original, and that'd be at least 35-40 years. So I got the local rigger to make up some nice new standing rigging for me. I did look at doing this with Dyneema, so you can get T-balls that have got loops in the end, and then you can splice Dyneema onto those. But I figured by the time I stuff around with all the lengths, and just to get the ends was quite expensive, and then I would have had to track down some high quality Dyneema. It was easier to just get the local rigger to do it properly, take him the old ones, he made new ones, and off I go for another 7 years. So yeah, I just need to work through what's what and hook it all up, and then we'll chuck the mast up. So those are the lowers. The ones with the clips are the wing wire. This is the forestay. This is the main set of shrouds. So now, these two must be the ones that go under the wings. I can just put all them in with the mast up. So all I got to do is attach the ones that go to the mast first, and then go from there. So I know the wing wires go to the highest one on the mast. I'll put those in now, and then I'll just work my way down from there. So these are the main shrouds. So as I suspected, when the rig goes up, the sort of very round hull doesn't have any sort of stability to stay in the trolley. So what I did is I bought these clam cleats. I think I usually use them on like laser hiking strap adjusters. And then I just got a little 20mm block and a cheap little clip. And the plan is to just have this clip on up here somewhere. And yeah, then I've got a saddle down here that I put exactly for this purpose. And yeah, then I'll be able to just quickly tension it. So I'll just quickly put all that together. So to try and save on the control line that'll cleat in the cleats, because I don't have very much of it, I've just made up a little 2.5mm Dynamis strop with yeah, loops in each end. So I can just attach one end here. So it's been a bit of a on and off day, just doing things. So I keep running in and out and doing 5 minutes when I can, but now it's getting pretty late. And yeah, I've got to head out to the airport at 5 o'clock to go away for a couple of days for work. So I'll just quickly get this strap on, make up the purchase system, and then the boat will be secured. And I might just push it up there into the block until I get back here Tuesday night and can keep going. And then there'll be a few more odd jobs to do for a couple of nights to get it ready for Thursday. I'm just going to fit the floats because I still haven't confirmed that the new wing wires actually fit, so it seems like a good idea to check that. The guy in Sailing Trimaran, I think he said he shortened his up to like here and then has a little adjuster to really tension it and crank it right, like up. So I might get that done. Okay, so I just got back from the airport. It's now Tuesday night, about 8:30 at night. Luckily it's kind of warm, so I'm just going to try and tick off the last few sort of critical jobs on this boat. The forecast for Thursday, the public holiday, still looks absolutely amazing, depending on your perspective. Like, it's going to be 15 degrees and raining, but there's a massive cold front coming through tomorrow, so there's going to be a really nice sort of southwesterly airflow coming through at about 15-20 knots on Thursday. So super excited to try and get this thing out. I just need to tick off these last few jobs I haven't got to yet. I also want to get the mast down tonight so I can take those wing wires back to the rigger tomorrow and get him to shorten them about 6 inches so that I can get this twist out of the platform. So yeah, lots to do. First I'll just fix this tramp lashing, because this is the side I haven't done yet, so I won't show you that too much because you've already seen me do the other side in detail. Okay, so I got the tramp lashings done on this side as well. Got the new riding line on. As you might be able to hear, it's started to get really windy, like it's gusting to 30 knots on the bay, and there's some big puffs coming through here. It started to rain, so there's heaps more coming out to the west as well. So I'm just going to try and really quickly get this thing apart. It's now getting relatively late. It's almost 20 to 10. So if I can get this mast down, then I can get these lowers off. I want to shorten those up a bit to about there so I can put a stay adjuster in here, just so I got more adjustability there, and then get those wing wires off so I can take them to the rigger tomorrow. So yeah, I'll try and do the fastest de-rigging of a HSP ever before it gets blown away. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Still raining, still windy, but managed to get the mast down. Get the stays in the car, which I should lock. So yeah, get those wires to the rigger tomorrow, then get them home. And tomorrow night I've got a couple more jobs to do. Get it all in the trailer, finish building the trailer, and hopefully sail on Thursday. Okay, so it's the next day now, Wednesday night, public holiday tomorrow. I did take the stays to the rigger today, and he's shortened them right up for me. So now I've just got to cut the old swages off the clips, and then I'm going to splice the tails onto it so that it's ready to set tomorrow. It's still raining and drizzly and crap, but there's really good breeze, so we'll put up with the cold and the wet and just tick off all these last few jobs. I want to change the tiller extension universal joints because they're like 30 years old, maybe 40 years old, and if I don't have steering and sails I might be a bit stuffed, so we'll tick off the steering part. Okay, so now it's 5 to 9, quick stop for dinner, which are wraps. You wouldn't know that I used to work at Macca's and get paid to assemble wraps, would you? Anyway, smash this, then keep going. A few more hours to go yet, but I reckon I can get it all done. Okay, so these are the lowers. You'll remember that these were just a little bit too long, and I was worried that I was going to end up with too much slop in the bottom of the rig. So I also got the rigger to shorten these the smallest amount he possibly could, so that'll be about this much. And now I've got some stay adjusters to put on, so that should be relatively easy. I'll take out this retaining pin quickly, put that up there, and then if I pull this, put that in there like so, pin in, put that retaining pin back in. Now at least I have some tunability, and maybe over time I'll fit that to the mainstays as well. But so while I'm sitting up here splicing and absolutely freezing at the same time, I'm just going to make a better block for the back main sheet setup. So before it had that big chunky double block, and then the one end terminated on one sheave, and then the other took off the other side. But the problem was then it was like unbalanced for starters, because you got two pieces of rope coming off one sheave and then one off the other. So I'm sure it would have been bound to tilt over slightly. Also, it was like 40 years old, and again, unknown history and so on. So I got new series 40 block, and then it sort of goes across a bridle like a laser, but because the stern is like this wide, it doesn't actually travel very far. So instead of lashing like a block to a block like a laser sort of has, I'm just going to put a low friction ring at the bottom of this. Then it won't be sort of your completely standard setup because of the way it is, but I'll just go through the top of the ring with some Dyneema for the top half, and then the bridle half will go through the bottom of the ring, and hopefully they won't interfere with each other because I've gone with a relatively large ring. So I'll just quickly put that together and keep going. That's sort of what I've come up with. As you can see with these, you've got to not drop them on the ground. Yeah, if I just leave it like that, it can just spin around. So what I've got to do is lash it. So I'm going to make another loop that goes up here as a tie-off point for the main sheet, and then instead of having the old one where it was a double block that tilted over, now it'll all be in line. So I have my same purchase that I had before, but yeah, it'll make the block alignment be correct, and now I know how old it is and where it came from and everything. So much happier with that. So I'll quickly splice up another circle. The other thought I had is, it'd suck if I'd made this nice loop and then between now and putting the main sheet on it, or depends where I keep the main sheet while I'm sailing, well, not sailing I suppose, but if that fell out of there, then I lose my custom made Dyneema loop. That would suck. But what I could do to stop that happening is put some stitches through the top here just to hold it together so it's captive on the block. So since I already have the needle out, I'm just going to do that. There we go. So definitely not my prettiest whipping. I'm not sure what happened. It got kind of caught up inside itself and one of the loops wouldn't pull tight, but at least now it can't fall off, which is all it needs to do is just stay together while I fit it to the boat. So next I need to make the bridle to go on the back of the boat that holds this. So I'm going to go up a gauge in Dyneema, or up a diameter. So this is 4mm, which is like massive, but before it's got like this 10mm bit of double braid on there at the moment. So this is a huge leap forward compared to what it had before, and because I don't want to be stumbling around in a block of land that's not cleared or anything trying to splice, I'm going to do one end now, then I can just loop it on and then just quickly do the other end while I'm standing over there. Okay, so over at the boat now, so this was the previous bridle. We're just going to take note of where that goes down the transom. It goes to just hook over the top of the bottom rudder gudgeon. So now I'm going to cut off this. It was rather brittle. Now I've gone from that to that. Okay, so lucky for us, this one is just a shackle on block, super vintage. I think that's the ratchet pull up there. See in there? So like when it lifts up and loads up, it's actually clicking on this surface. That's crazy. So the last job I really wanted to do before sailing this boat was change these old universal joints over. Like, I've never actually seen this style with like the ribbed pattern through them. So I did go and buy the new ones, but they're not attached in the regular way. Normally it's like a pin you can untape and punch out, but evidently back when they made these, they were riveted. So like, that's another probably can't do it in a suburban area at 10:30 at night type job on a Wednesday, right before a public holiday where everyone gets up before dawn. I'm just going to have to run with it. I'm just wondering, it's like a risk minimization thing. I might just run some string down them tomorrow. I'll attach it now. There we go, so now I can at least tie that off to the tiller, and then worst case if it breaks it's just going to stretch a bit so I'd still be able to bear away and head up, just not very nicely, but at least it should stop like an out of control round up or bear away type thing. Yeah, not ideal, but at least I have figured it out and put in something to minimise what could go wrong. Okay, so that's 11:15, finally done ish. I'll load the car up with my sailing stuff in the morning, but at least the boat's all tied on. I went through and put sort of little shock cords on all these spinnaker pole loops, so everything just clips on quickly with no fuss. So yeah, that's all on. Yeah, really happy with how that went together. So yeah, just a quick pack in the morning, see how much time I've got, but yeah, bedtime. Real squally with these rain clouds coming through.